What if the name you choose for your design business is actually costing you money before you even land your first client? Hey there, I'm Des Cotes, and today we're breaking down one of the biggest decisions you'll make as a designer: naming your business. Now, I founded Resourceful Designer to help graphic and web designers like you build profitable businesses. And I can tell you from experience, the name question trips up a lot of designers before they even get started. Now, some of you may already know exactly what you want to call your studio. You've had it locked in your head since design school or maybe earlier. But others, you're stuck, and that's okay. What matters is understanding the real impact your choice has on your bottom line. When you're naming your design business, you basically have two paths: use your own name or create a business name. Let's start with the pros of using your name. First, when clients see your name on a business card or website, it immediately feels more approachable. There's a perception thing happening here. Sandra Blue Creations makes it sound like you're getting good service from a real person. Compare that to Blue Media Creations, and suddenly it feels like a bigger operation, which means higher prices in the client's mind. Second, your name makes you transparent. People know they're dealing with you directly, not some agency with a bunch of underlings behind the scenes. That's huge for trust. Now, third, people remember you as a person, not a studio. When your clients refer you, they say your name. They remember you, not just some design firm they can't quite recall. And here's the practical side. If you're in a small town where everybody already knows everyone anyways, why make it complicated? Use your name. It's instantly recognizable. Legally and financially, using your name also saves you headaches. You can't be sued for using your own name, even if someone else has a similar one. Plus, you might skip some banking fees and complicated trademark searches. But here's where it gets tricky. Using your name can make you seem inexperienced. Some clients think, "You're a designer. Couldn't you come up with something more creative than just your name?" It's the easy way out, and some people perceive it that way. Your name can also make you feel too approachable. Corporate clients, especially, might start treating you like an employee instead of a partner that they hired, not a business they're contracting with. Suddenly, they're texting you at midnight or expecting weekly reports without asking. It kind of blurs the line a little. And if you grow, if you do eventually end up wanting to hire employees, things get weird fast. People will keep asking for you specifically. They'll want to work with Sarah, not someone else at Sarah's design studio. And that's a real problem when you scale. Now, let's flip it. What about creating a business name? Now, the biggest pro here is perception. A business name makes you seem more established and professional. Clients will pay more to work with awesome design studio than they would from, say, Valerie Lopez Design. Same work, different price tag. That's just how people's brains work. Now, a business name also makes scaling possible. If you ever want to hire someone, bring on a partner, or grow into something bigger, your business name supports that story. There's no confusion about who's doing the work. And if you ever want to exit to sell your business, a business name makes that way easier. Someone might buy Awesome Design Studio, but they're not buying you or your name. Now, here's where real issues pop up. If your name is hard to spell or pronounce, you're in trouble. Let me tell you, I live this every single day. My last name is Des Cotes. 2 words, 2 S's that are silent. I can't tell you how many different ways I've seen people spell it. If I had named my business Mark Des Cotes Design, people would never find me online because they wouldn't know how to spell it. Now, on the flip side, if your name is super common, like Joe Smith, then Joe Smith Design is probably already taken somewhere. And you're competing with yourself across the internet because there are so many Joe Smiths out there. And adding your middle initial, That just confuses everyone. And if you have a famous name, you've got problems too. Bill Clinton Creative? People won't take you seriously. They'll think it's a joke. Using your name can be problematic for women. And this is something I've seen happen. If you start your business under a maiden name and then later get married, you're stuck explaining it forever. I knew a designer named Sherry Bell. She built her entire business under that name, and she became very well known in my area. And when she got married and became Sherry Smelko, she spent years explaining why her business was named Sherry Bell Design when she was Sherry Smelko. And she told me it really started to bother her, having to constantly explain it. And what if your name has another meaning? Cindy Wood Design sounds like you work with lumber. John Carr Design sounds like an automotive engineer. So how about a business name instead of a personal name? Well, here's the first trap I see people enter: making up a word that has no meaning. I thought about this when I first started my business. I came up with the name Rye Joe Design. R-Y from my son Ryan and J-O from my daughter Joelle. It's my kids' names. It felt creative to me. But when I started sharing it around with people, they all said, well, what is that? Or why should I remember that? The name had zero meaning to anyone but me. Zero association. It was hard to remember precisely because it was made up. It's not a common word. And then there's the partnership program. I knew two guys, one named Rye and the other named Bergeron, who started a business called Rye Burr Promotions. And they combined their names. It worked great until they had a falling out, and one guy kept the business and had to keep the name Rye Burr even though the partner had left. To this day, he has to explain what it means. It's awkward. So don't do partnerships in your business name unless you're absolutely sure you're in it for life. Now here's another big one. Don't get creative with spelling. Dropping vowels in names seems to be a big trend now, but it's confusing if you don't mention the missing vowel when you say the name. Or swapping letters. I see this all the time. Someone wants the name creative, but it may be taken, so they spell it with a K. Or they spell design with a Z. It seems clever at the moment, but here's what happens. In real life, your clients, when they refer you to someone, they'll say, oh, I got my design from this great studio. And if they don't mention how you spell it differently, that you dropped a vowel or that you chose an unconventional spelling of a word, that person that they tell will never be able to find you. They'll search for the proper spelling and maybe find someone else, and you lose that business. Worse, every single time you introduce yourself, you have to spell it. And that gets old really fast. And it also dates your business. What feels trendy now will feel maybe cringy in 10 years. When you're choosing a name, any name, ask yourself these questions. Is it easy to spell? Can it be spelled multiple ways? If yes, be sure to register all the variations on the domains. When I started my business, Marksman Design, I also registered Marksmen Design just in case. Is it easy to say and remember? Remember, shorter names are better. Apple, Reebok, Adidas, one word, done. Long, complicated names, they'll fade from memory, so keep it short. And how does it work internationally? Now, this matters if you plan on working globally. And why wouldn't you, as a designer, want to work globally? Let's, for example, say a French business called Les Créatifs du Coq. Sounds great in French. Coq, spelled C-O-Q, is rooster in English. So the English translation is Rooster Creative. Okay, that's innovative. However, in English-speaking countries, Les Créatifs du Coq sounds a little different. It lands differently. So make sure there's no accidental meanings that could hurt you elsewhere. And is your name future-proof? Don't include trendy technology in your name. Amazing WordPress development sounds great now, but in 10 years, WordPress might not be the platform everyone's using. Then you're stuck with a dated name. And if you can, avoid regional naming too. Detroit City Design Company only makes sense if you're only serving people in Detroit. Why would someone like me from Ontario, Canada, want to hire an agency that specifically says it's a company for Detroit City? Or what happens if you end up moving out of Detroit at some point? And most importantly, whatever name you choose, is it actually available? Use a tool like namecheck.com. It checks whether your desired name is available across social media, web domains, and other important places. Now, I use this tool every time I need to check a name. And if it's available, please register it immediately. Seriously, I've seen too many people come up with a great business name, wait a week or more to register it, only to discover that suddenly it's no longer available. Domain names are cheap. Don't lose your name because you procrastinated. Now, before you commit to a name, run it by friends and family and everybody. Here's why. You might miss something obvious. I worked with a designer back in my print shop days whose husband, Steve, was starting a tool rental company with a partner named Martin. And the designer created a logo that said S&M Tool Rental for Steve and Martin. Now, I happened to walk by as she was designing it, and when I saw it, I had to explain to her that S&M actually stands for something different in certain circles, and kind of explain to her what kind of clients might show up at their door looking for tools. And they changed the name immediately. Good call. So be careful and ask around, because you never know when something different or some other meaning may show up. And one more thing, if you go with a generic business name, clarify what you actually do. Great, awesome designs could mean graphic design, landscape design, fashion design, interior design, any other type of design. Someone once asked me if marksman design meant I designed guns. I'm not kidding. Just add some sort of tagline or subtitle. Great awesome designs, graphic studio. Or Rebecca Blake, logo design and branding. Problem solved. And here's a secret just for you. You don't have to pick just one. You can actually run multiple businesses under one umbrella. I know designers who have one business for wedding invitations, and another for general graphic design, and maybe another for something other that's specific, some other service they offer, different websites, different marketing angles, and you capture different markets without confusing anyone. I personally run 2 design businesses, Marksman Design, which is a general design studio, and Podcast Branding, which is a design studio that specializes in the podcast niche. It's really not that difficult to do. The truth is, there's no one right way to name your design business, whether you use your own name or make something up. It depends on you, your market, and your goals. But what matters is this: think it through, don't rush it, check if it's available, ask other people what they think, and once you decide, register it immediately. Besides, your business name isn't permanent. You can change it. My friend Mike just did that. Someone challenged his use of his business name, and instead of fighting it in court, he just rebranded under a different name. But you probably won't want to change your name once you start. So the stronger your name is from day one, the easier everything else will become. But what I can tell you is that choosing your business name isn't actually the hardest part. Designing a logo for it will be. Designers, what can I say? We're our own worst clients. Am I right? Be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I share weekly advice on running a successful home-based design business. Well, that's all I have for this one. Until next time, stay creative.